I want to take a moment and talk to you about what's behind the actual product release and some of the real highlights of what I think is good for the players, the coaches, the leagues. And I want to start by just suggesting that the free lesson is powerful. We've never had probably less than one hand out of the 25,000 exposures over the years. Anybody that's ever walked through that 15-minute analysis that's ever walked out without having any less than one. And more times it's usually one, two, or three flaws that need to be corrected in order to enhance consistency. So you're going to go in there and you're going to actually really get some valuable benefit. Everybody should take that free lesson, whether it's baseball or softball. It's going to be a powerful way to help measure where you are. And if you complete it, you actually get a 2-for-1, 2 basic lessons for the price of one. Now, the basic lesson is the 40-point analysis. Very interactive, very powerful. And, of course, then the advanced is a more, like the word says, advanced, because what happens is we've got an offline and online combination whereby we take the video clip and embed it in the software, and there's a lot of hands-on. So it's a little bit more expensive, but the basic is just about dirt cheap for what most training lessons would cost. And then we want it that way because we want to be international, we want to make a difference in player development, and we want to make a difference in people development. And this happens to be the vehicle that's going to afford us that opportunity nationally and internationally. We want to make a difference in the lives of folks. So the next thing I want to say beyond the product side is that this report, which is the end result of the technology, this text report that will come in an email or is actually embedded in the software after you complete it, is invaluable because it offers our industry the first ever tangible tool to judge progression of skills. So a player could take a lesson and 30 days later can measure that lesson and those numbers and see some kind of enhancement. That's good, particularly if you're a coach who happens to be getting paid for your instruction. And or you want to monitor your players in the off season where you can't get your hands on them if you're a high school coach, or if you're a travel coach who you don't get them as much as you want, or maybe you're a youth coach that only has them for a short period and you need to have a roadmap immediately for where to go with this because you don't have the same amount of time. And so it's very important that you really go down and look through the site and understand exactly what we have, because it's got a multitude of applications. And it's not going to interfere with the guy who has his own methodology and terminology, because good baseball is good baseball, good softball is good softball, and you can take the reports out of this particular system and instantly utilize those reports with your terminology and your approaches. Now, obviously, it's easy to begin the lesson, very intuitive and interactive, very simple. The content is proven through years of what we've been doing. And I think for a league it's important because they can track player development from the beginning to the end, and they can really actually have some accountability over their coaches. Coaches would need to see improvement in every player and on every team. Actually, the league could use these numbers for draft picks and how to, create parity in the league. And obviously, I think from an instructional side, that the content itself could offer a level of continuity. These kids never really get any traction because they've got different coaches who have different ideas about every year to 2 years. So it's hard for them to really get a grasp on it. And so I think if you're a high school coach and you want to, keep your kids accountable and keep them moving ahead, even though you might be doing basketball or softball or wrestling or some other sport, winter sport, I think it's important. And I think it's a time saver and it's very effective. And again, the whole thing has been designed to be inexpensive so that we can offer it to the broad number of people that we're trying to influence. And the final note I want to say is that it's even with the inexpensive investment, when we implement a revenue share, we really go all out because we're 50-50, and you get a chance to generate for your booster club, your athletic programs, your recreation facility, and through the customized co-branded version. So you can also take that and implement it and give it away for free. So it just depends on what your goal and mission is. We'd like to talk to you about that. We hope you'll take the time to go through the website and learn more. Take the free lesson. Contact me. I'll be glad to talk to you about how this can be a blessing to you, your organization, and the people that you influence. And thank you for taking the time to be with us. And I look forward to working with you later.